Alright, here we go. Bugs Bunny Guide. First thing people want to learn when they play this character is how the combo game works, right? There is a couple main things you want to know, which first I'll start with the combo starters. Bugs combo starters at low percents are forward tilt, rapid jab, up tilt, this move, with low charge if they DI in, neutral air technically, although kind of rarely, and down air. All of these moves can lead into his looping combo game, which is usually a combination of forward tilt, down air, and neutral air. You want to keep combos between these three moves for the most part, and keeping combos between these moves is how you actually rack up damage on your opponent. One of the best combo starters, which is forward tilt, you can do into short hop down air, which can lead into neutral air, which can lead into down air. Keeping it between these three moves, and then it eventually ends in an up air. That's how the majority of the combo game for Bugs works out. At higher percents, if you catch people at higher percents with the neutral air in the air, such as this, neutral air can combo into neutral air. You catch people with neutral air into neutral air, this is a great combo finisher for a lot of combos. So basically, you just want to keep combos between these moves. That's just how you rack up your damage off your combos. Finding these moves on Bugs is actually pretty hard, because all of these moves that his combo starters are low range, low priority moves that get beaten out by other moves. You can catch people off of respawn with a forward tilt, which is like a classic trick. If someone respawns in the center and you catch them mashing, you can instantly get a forward tilt. Like, you just have to, it's just catching people with his combo moves is hard because his combo moves are all small. You can also just bind this to a button. That's just like the general Bugs combo game flow. Just keep it between these moves. Let's go from there. Next up is like how his projectiles work. I'm going to go in order here. I'm going to start with Pi. So Pi, which is his down tilt, is a chargeable projectile where the longer you charge it, the faster it goes. The less you charge it, the slower it goes. Because of this, slow projectiles are really good. A lot of the time when you have a Pi ready to go, you can just throw it slow and then you can fight behind it. This controls a lot of space on the screen at the same time, and it prevents your opponent from just like directly rolling through the Pi and trying to get on you. Pi can also, when you're in the air, you have a lot of air control when you throw the Pi. You can do forward Pies, you can do fade back Pies. Fade back Pi in particular is really good. If someone tries to jump on you, if someone's trying to jump towards you and you do a fade back Pi, they can't really get on you because you're moving away from them, and you throw a hitbox to protect yourself. Pies also serve as a pretty good anti-air. You see the little turtle that appears? This turtle just lowers all of their movement speed for a while, and that's like really strong. The ice projectile perk, you also apply one stack of ice on your opponent. Combining these things together, like really debilitates your opponent if they get hit by this move. Your opponent gets slowed way down if they're hit by both effects at once. And that's like basically how the Pi works. I'll do Tunnel next. I'll start without the perk, just to explain how it works. Tunnel, you just set up holes on two sides of the map. You can hop between one to the other. You can just quickly go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You can just jump from one to the other, do an aerial, go back through, something like that. Your opponent tries to approach you. As soon as you get over here, you just go to the other one. You can use it as a runaway tool. You can use it to quickly pop out and hit your opponent from an unexpected direction. It's just a lot of space control at the same time. When you use Tunnel, you have the choice. You can pop out early, which just sets up the tunnel wherever you popped out. Or if you go until the end of the time, you pop out with a suitcase attack that has a lot of knockback, and this move can kill. 130-ish? Like, this move will just kill. Additionally, if you use his signature perk, Come Through Doc, this one, this tunnel gets, like, becomes really strong. So what this perk does is whenever you pop out of the tunnel after the initial pop out, it comes out with a hitbox. So if you see Shaggy standing there and I go through, he takes 6%. If you pop through on someone at, like, kill percent, the hit stun from the tunnel true combos into an up air, which you can use to kill your opponent at kill percents. This is like a really good kill confirm for Bugs. Additionally, if your opponent's at low percents, let me quickly put that all the way down. If you pop out of tunnel, you can combo it into his combo game. Like, the tunnel pop out will combo into a down air. This is why this tunnel perk is really good. The hitbox that comes when you pop out is really hard to deal with. That's just like the good usages of tunnel. It just controls a lot of space. You have to kind of respect it. They're just not allowed to stand on it, or you can threaten a combo game or a kill. Move on to his next move, Lingering Love. Without the perk, this move is effectively kind of useless. You're kind of just hitting a Falcon Punch is the best way to describe it. Hitting this move without the perk feels almost impossible because look how slow this is. I would say this move is kind of useless until you get the perk, which is this one, Lingering Love, which in this case, if your opponent ever happens to jump into this heart, which you leave out now, it just stays there for a couple seconds. If they jump into it while it's out, they just get frozen, just like the other one, which lets you start a combo game up on your frozen opponent, using any option you choose. Basically, you can throw this out and you can just start camping behind it. If you throw this out, you set up a safe. They can't do anything because there's a heart in the way. It just lets you get it gives you a lot of space to set up, and if they do ever challenge it, you just get a big combo. In singles, this move like just really lets you camp. In doubles, I'd feel like it has less of a good use because it's more random to die. One more note about this projectile is that whenever it gets hit by another projectile, it gets destroyed. So if the Shaggy threw a sandwich at it, it'd be gone. On to the next move. I'm gonna go to safe next. Safe, neutral B, neutral special. It's simple. You drop a safe. There's a lot of things to do with the safe. At any point, you can choose to launch it with a forward air to cover a pretty good jump in angle. It covers your opponent jumping in this angle. If you want to catch your opponent going high, you can do an up tilt or an up air. They both cover a really high angle. If you want to keep the safe alive, you can always do forward tilts, which keeps it moving forward. Or you can do neutral airs, which can launch the safe at slightly faster angles, but is a bit more finicky to use. What this move is good for is against characters who have really good grounded games, like Finn. This move is basically a requirement to keep them out. You can just use this move and they have to dodge through it, and then as they try to dodge through it, you can just try to smack them. The stage control that this provides is just insane. As long as this is up, it's really hard for your opponent to play around you. If they try to jump over it, you can just up air over it. You can also just choose to up air it at the same time and send both going. Against characters with good grounded games, you always want to keep the safe alive as much as you can. And you always want to be rolling it around as much as you can to keep it going, because the more times you roll the safe, the more value you can get out of it. Although it eventually will break, just like there. If you've ever played Smash, it's basically like Pac-Man Fire Hydrant, in the sense that when you use it, it just drops below you. This is one of Bug's like best ways of getting down, because he has pretty bad get down tools normally. Whenever Bugs is in the air up high, a lot of the time he can combo down with this, and then as he's coming down, whatever side your opponent runs to dodge the safe, you go to the other side and you kick it. So let's say Shaggy was below me, he dodges the safe to the right. I just instantly fall and kick it to the right to cover that side. This is like a really good burst option from Bugs that does a lot of damage. It's like his best way to get down too. If you land on a safe with someone, you can true combo it into a down air and then start spinning the safe towards them. And it does a lot of damage. It's just an instant 20 damage if they get hit by the safe like this. Something like that. So whenever a safe gets destroyed, it can come with an item. This item can be Meeseek's box. This box is really good. So how this box works is whenever you throw it at your opponent, it does 7 damage, and if they're on the ground, forces a ground bounce, so it ends up doing like 8 damage. And it allows you to re-catch it over and over again. So you can just throw this box over and over at people, and it's just really strong. And you can keep holding onto it if it hits them. It also has the option where if you hit the A button without holding direction, you spawn a Meeseeks, which is a slow-moving guy who just runs forward and attacks. You can spawn up to 3 of these guys. However, once you spawn a Meeseeks from the box, when you throw it, it disappears. You can't re-catch it anymore. So there's a reason not to spawn the Meeseeks. It's just, it lets you keep the box for longer. Other items you can get out of the safe include Dynamite, which is just one high-damaging, high-knockback projectile with an explosion that armor breaks. Does 10 damage. Really good. Bugs, when he crouches for a couple seconds, he spawns an item from the pool of items. This can be a Meeseeks box, like earlier. It can be the Dynamite, like we've seen. It can also be a Shaggy sandwich. And it can also be a Adventure Time television. This thing. This television can be one of 2 little helpers. One is a banana guard who runs back and forth, who just gives you a small amount of stage presence when he's active. And the other is this guy, who shoots a bunch of pies that apply a small amount of slow, and these pies do like 0.5% each of damage, and destroy small projectiles that they hit. Whenever you have this guy up, he does a lot for you. Like the slow he applies constantly towards your opponent. And then the last thing you can get, I had to pull for it, is Sandwich. This is probably the worst item you can get from the item pool. It's just a one-time throwable item, does 7%, doesn't do that much knockback. It's just a normal sandwich throw. This guy's just strong. Look at him go. There's a lot of good things with the safe. It's one of Bug's best moves. Last special is the Rocket. Rocket If you shoot it horizontally, it just goes. This breaks any armor move in the game. It does good damage, and it controls a lot of space as it's going. This is really good to buy time to lower your other cooldown. Let's say you just used your safe. It's been destroyed, whatever. You can use this rocket, and you can just ride along it, pull up high, and it's really hard for your opponent to challenge you when you're standing on it. In doubles, this just takes up the whole space and makes both of your opponents have to dodge. In singles, this just buys you a lot of time, and if your opponent gets hit by it, it's just a bonus, 10 damage. Is a recovery option. Let's say you're stuck out here with no jumps. I have no jumps, no air dodges. I use side B, I'm standing on it, I got everything back. The same thing also applies to his vertical rocket, which is his up B when he has rocket off cooldown. Once he grabs the side, he gets all of his jumps. He can get air dodge off of it, he can climb it. Vertical rocket, while not really having any true combo confirms into it, except for down air, and if they DI in, you can combo down air into it, is just a really good burst kill option. If you manage to hit someone with this rocket, they just die. Like, they just die. Whenever you shoot a rocket up, after like 20 seconds, it comes back down into the same spot where you shot it up. If this hits someone off stage, it spikes. If it hits someone on stage, it just does a lot of knockback. And it's just like an overall, like, really good move just to occasionally throw out, and it'll give you like an assist in 20 seconds. One more thing I'm going to show off here in a second. Whenever the rocket comes back down, it comes back down with an audio cue, a little whistle. You're going to hear a whistle, and then you're going to see the rockets. Like right there. And then there they are, right there. So you can tell when your rockets are coming back down. For the person asking how to glide, you just hold jump. Like if you just hold the jump button, you glide. On to other interactions that are good. General tunnel interactions. Tunnel, whenever you have a projectile go through one side of the tunnel, it goes out the other. Like if you throw a pie through one side, it comes out the other. This also works for his other projectiles, such as Safe, which pops through one and out the other. Rocket, and it comes out one. There we go, just like that. In terms of advanced level thing, you can like always spawn a safe, and you can instantly redirect it out the other side. You can spawn a safe in one, and you can down air it from one to the other, and you can just keep it going and just hold stage like that. Tunnel's just good at like keeping all of your other projectiles active and good while it's up. It makes your other projectiles better because you can always threaten things like that. Item throws also go through tunnel. So like if you throw an item into one side, it'll pop out the other. On to more general things for bugs. This is just like going to be an overview on his general neutral game when he doesn't have projectiles. His best move overall is by far his forward air. This move is crazy. It's big, you can roll cancel out of it, it covers a lot of space, it's fast. Like this is the move you're going to be trying to use the most whenever you're playing bugs. You can use this move and you can like set up your opponent to be off stage. You can try to read air dodges off it. It doesn't combo really into anything except at like low, like at 0, do something like high forward air into neutral air. Like that can be a thing and that can lead to the combo game. In general, this is just a get off me tool. This is just a I'm going to jump towards you and do this move and now get away from me move. And this is like the move you should be using the most when you have other stuff going on. So let's say you have a safe, you can just start forward airing behind it. You can just stop people from rolling through. This move you kind of just want to use whenever you can. It's just that good. The best thing about this move is that you can roll cancel it. So whenever you use bugs forward air, if you roll cancel it, you can speed up how fast you do it significantly. Like normally when you just do bugs forward air, you're just jumping from one side to the other. If you roll after the move finishes, you can cover a lot of ground and just generally make the move safe. So let's say someone's approaching you, you do a forward air, you roll back, you do another one. Or just do forward air, roll back, pull a pie, throw the pie. Just being able to roll cancel this move speeds up bugs a lot. And like it's like the most important movement thing, I would say, for the character. In general, roll cancel jumping, for people who don't know, whenever you roll into a jump, you get extra momentum. So let's say you jump from left to right. This is just me normally jumping. If you roll before you do the jump, you just become faster. You roll by using the dodge button while holding left or right. Up air, everyone already knows about up air. It's big, it's massive, it kills well. It hits behind him for whatever godforsaken reason. Look at this. It's really good at sharking enemies. Like whenever your opponent's in the air, you can always do one low to bait an air dodge and then do another. It's just like the best up air in the game. In general, in neutral, you kind of want to be using these moves. Bugs grounded moves are all kind of slow or low priority. So most of his neutral game is played with these aerials. So whenever you have stuff set up, you probably want to always aerial behind them. You can occasionally throw out things like hammer swing, which is your neutral attack, but generally keep it between these two if you're not projectiling, and then projectiles. That's the general flow of neutral game bugs. Going on to perks for bugs, I'll just pull up the perk menu. There's a bunch of good perks for bugs. In doubles, if you're teaming with another zoner who can easily apply debuffs, I'll take that as an amazing refundability cooldown. Ice projectile is really good for reasons I explained with Pi. This is one of Bug's most valuable perks. It's not his most valuable, but it's up there in terms of how much it provides. Niche things that Bugs likes to run. School Me Once. When Bugs is playing against other zoners, this is a good anti-zone. This is just a solid anti-zoner perk, especially versus Tom and Jerry and Velma. I would say are like the big ones, and also Steven, because Steven's neutral air counts as a projectile. I would say the most overall important perk for Bugs to always run is this one here, Triple Jump. This Triple Jump always adds one loop into every time he gets a combo, which can just, depending on the move you hit, can be 10 to 20 damage extra just by having Triple Jump every time you hit a combo. This perk is just too good not to have on Bugs. Going on next, another niche perk. In combo heavy matchups, like let's say you're going in the Bugs Ditto, Tasmanian Trigonometry can get you out of a lot of combos. It's one of the most unexplored perks in the game, but this perk straight up gets you out of so much. General good perks, Bugs usually wants to always run one cooldown reduction perk, especially in singles. There's 2 perks he has to choose between for this. The first of these is CoffeeZilla, 10% reduced ability cooldown duration. This is just generally good. And the other is I dodge, you dodge, we dodge. You receive a 10% ability cooldown refund every time you dodge an attack. If you dodge a lot, which is really good in this game, it's just insane. It's just one of the best cooldown reduction perks, especially for Bugs, who spends all the game dodging. I think I'm done for now on this